All right, gang. We're thinking about the rules of the road for wireless frames, 802.11. And we know that we've got discovery components, right? The beaconing and the probes. And then we've got our initial connection association. So we've got the ability to actually look at the authentication, then the association, the de-authentication, the de-association, the reassociation. But what about just kind of day-to-day life? Well, these control frames that we're looking at here all play a role in that as well. Now, the most common one that we're familiar with is the message and the ACK, right? So the message and the ACK are all about, okay, I send out a particular frame, and then we know that an acknowledgement comes back in to verify that receipt has occurred, so I don't try and resend it a second time because the first time didn't make it, right? Because it was corrupted. Again, it's wireless. Stuff happens. This is a built-in mechanism to ensure delivery. The other aspect to be considered with is the request to send and clear to send properties. So in a situation where I might have two clients who can't hear each other, we said a collision could occur because they aren't going to follow the normal rules of back-off timers and waiting based upon the network allocation vector, recognizing the duration of each other's frames because they don't hear each other's frames. So in that scenario, we do need help from the access point. So what I could use is a request to send frame. I'd like to send a message. So I'd send that to the access point. The access point hears everybody. So if the access point is at a point where it could potentially send a frame itself, then it will send back to the client a clear to send frame. Once that is sent, then the client will be able to actually send its frame. This also occurs if I recognize that I'm in a mixed network. If I have an access point that supports either a B client and a G client, right, that particular scenario, or let's say I had an N client or an AC client, then although I can support both clients, and even though they might hear each other's frames, the way that they manage the traffic is different. The amount of aggregation, the width of our channels might be different between N and AC. So there can be some real differences here. And so in order to negotiate this and make sure that we don't end up with collisions occurring over adjacent ranges and things like that, what we'll do is utilize, once again, request to send and clear to send. We'll let the access point kind of manage as a middleman the communication between these devices. And so this is a normal part of improving network control so that we can support what would otherwise be an untenable situation.